Howdy folks, and welcome to another episode of Jambareeqi Orange, the show where my patrons decide what I review. The options for this episode's poll included Brother Bear 2, Happily Never After, Orion in the Dark, Hazbin Hotel, Megamind vs the Doom Syndicate, and The Creator. They chose Hazbin Hotel. Charlie, daughter of Lucifer, has set up a hotel for hell sinners, where they can possibly redeem themselves for heaven. However, Charlie is struggling to encourage volunteers. So, Alistair, the powerful radio demon, who sees potential entertainment in Charlie's project, uses his dark magic to help out. Now, Charlie must prove that her dream is possible by repenting such sinners as Angel Dust the porn star and the insecure Slithering Sir Pentious. All while the Angel's next extermination of demonkind looms over hell. This show's take on hell is a fusion of the worst American cities you can think of, but with the extra danger of zero laws in place. Morality and ethics mean very little here, because everyone is dead, and more importantly, evil is a human construct, and so it's kind of unnecessary to judge hell's citizens based on our principles. This is where the damned suffer and face extermination, which is why there's a daring boldness to Charlie's project, but also a naive innocence too. How do you pitch redemption in such a nihilistic world where sinners have come to pessimistically accept their fates?
We can't force sinners to stay here. They need to choose to.
I'm choosing to be here, and I think it's all stupid.
That's the draw of Hazbin Hotel. Charlie has posed a near impossible idea for a better future for sinners. Can she pull it off? Is she in over her head, or is she onto some kind of potential miracle? Even she has to question her own optimism at times.
The interview didn't go well, and I don't know if I'm going to make a difference.
Everyone reacts to our hotel premise in a variety of ways. To some, it's a joke. To others, it's a pipe dream. Only Charlie's incredibly loyal girlfriend, Vaggie, sees its ultimate potential, because she believes in the love of her life and what she can achieve.
I still believe in Charlie's dream. I know this place can work.
However, Vaggie is also hiding her own dark secret. You see, she's actually an angel, trained to be an exterminator of demons. But she betrayed her exorcism mission. Left for dead, Charlie took her in. So for a lot of this season, Vaggie suffers from big guilt and a strong imposter syndrome, conflicted over an indoctrinated identity and a new loyalty to her savior and the love of her life. All while she questions her own ability to convert sinners, asking herself if she's even worthy of guiding demons to righteousness.
If I can't help you, what's the point of me?
Vaggie, don't say that. You do so much.
I'm sorry, I'd like to be alone for a minute.
It's a deeply compelling and sympathetic internal struggle that the show carefully drip feeds to us episode by episode until she's exposed.
I wonder what your would think if she found out you are actually one of us,
After Vaggie is outed, she's forgiven by Charlie, but being an angel is still part of who she is. Her origin doesn't magically poof away, and she can't change the fact that she comes from heaven. Heck, in order to become her best self during this war against the angels, she has to learn to embrace her angel identity.
Stupid girl, are you really so dense you don't realize you're holding the answer?
Angelic weapons? It's that simple? How has no one else figured this out?
The residents of Hazbin are an eclectic bunch of eccentrics. Not a single one comes close to fitting the conventional idea of normal. This variety of strong personalities leads to a very hostile environment, with egos clashing in the hotel in nearly every episode.
You can cut the act already. It's never gonna work on me, so all you're doing is making an ass out of yourself with this fake.
Call me fake one more time, mother.
But there's sometimes a faint glimmer of hope for camaraderie.
I suppose I did get into a little of the old rough and tumble today. And, thank you for pulling me out of there.
I can't say that most of the hotel's members are less full-on traditional villains, and more just broken people who have let their unhealthy vices or bad life choices send them down dark paths.
Ah, Husker, my good friend. Glad you could make it.
Don't you Husker me, you son of a I was about to win the whole damn pot!
Good to see you too.
Charlie's idealistic worldview is luckily very contagious. Sure, some residents will sneer at the project, but there's no denying that Charlie's maternal love drives these demons to do better, because now they have a motherly role model to impress.
Look who decided to show up. We thought we were fighting by ourselves.
You're still here.
But at the same time, I would argue that the friendship that blossoms between these residents is just as formative for their development. They're all in the same boat, and all want the same thing, so they can bond over their shared suffering and maybe improve together.
You wanna fuck up all your progress? Be my guest. I just thought you were better than that.
Implementing Alistair into our hero's school of redemption adds this neutral force into the mix that shakes up the hotel's social dynamic. He's unreliable as a behind-the-scenes staff member, but when he does take an interest in Charlie's project, things can get comically hijinky at best and questionably sinister at worst. Depending on his mood, he could be an objective spectator of Charlie's struggling dream, a helpful supernatural conjurer, or a serious threat to those who bruise his ego.
If you ever say that again, I will tear your soul apart and broadcast your screams for every other disrespectful wretch who dares to question me.
There are many different sides to him, and his chaotic unpredictability spices up what's essentially a hotel sitcom. I actually don't think the show's whole appeal would be complete without his unsettling, creepy presence.
I came here because I love seeing wasteful souls struggle to accomplish something meaningful and fail spectacularly.
Now, you may be wondering who my favourite character is. Well, it's not one of the actual residents. It's Charlie's very own father, Lucifer himself, an angel rejected from heaven for his choice to give humanity free will, something he very much regrets after only seeing the worst side of this granted freedom.
I love that you want to see the best in people, but these sinners? You know, they're just the worst. I don't know how much you can realistically expect from them in heaven.
This autistic-coded and well-dressed character is alive with a passion for duck toys of all things. While he's often been absent as a dad, I would not call him a bad father. He's a flawed, dejected and depressed being who has had his dreams crushed. He just happens to be a dad while facing this personal existential crisis.
You're inviting me
over? Absolutely! Oh, I'll be there in an hour! My daughter wants to see me!
However, Hazbin Hotel not only reunites father and daughter, but also reignites Lucifer's hope, all because Charlie's optimism and belief are so dang infectious.
Okay, I can get you the meeting, but once you're in heaven, I won't be able to go with you. Will you be okay?
I'll be fine.
From here on in, he becomes the best dad he can be.
Sorry I wasn't here sooner, sweetie.
While this isn't the only cartoon that portrayed heaven as the antagonist and angels as the villains, it's still a great take on such a premise. I mean, there's an inherent judgy snobbiness to the idea of heaven itself, and an unethical hypocrisy to supposedly compassionate beings running a torture dungeon for rule breakers. That's exactly what Hazbin Hotel dives into, from poking fun at the toxic masculinity and egomania of the first ever man, Adam, who only got into heaven out of nepotism.
Do you know who I am? I'm Adam. I'm the original dick.
To exposing the fact that not even angels themselves can define a heaven-worthy person.
None of you know what gets someone into heaven?
This questioning stops now. We know when a soul arrives.
Even if you're religious yourself, it's still valid to criticize or question biblical law. Healthy even. I mean, Kevin Smith was raised as a Catholic, and he directed the film Dogma, a movie that deconstructed his very own religion's contradictions. Dogma also coincidentally features a terrific deleted scene that perfectly captures the spirit of Hazbin Hotel's satire.
I've spent eons privy to the flames, inhaling the decay, hearing the wail of the damned. I know what effect such horrors have on the delicate psyche of an angelic being.
This show is also unapologetically queer. It wears its gayness with pride and doesn't tone down anything for straight audiences. A decent few characters are somewhere on the queer board, and not one has any shame about who they are. The show has been criticised for leaning into stereotypes, but those critics are unfairly ignoring the fact that the show is set in hell. Of course, queer characters living in hell are going to be vulgar and crass. They've been sent down to this underworld for a reason. Oh, and queer representation shouldn't be limited to boring pure saints. Portray us as fully dimensional flawed people like Angel Dust.
You know how much I'm worth? You know how many people would kill to have angel dust come onto them?
Heck, for years, bigots have insisted that us queers belong in hell, so why not embrace that threat with punk irony? That's exactly what gay icon Lil Nas X went ahead and did for his Montero music video. The show also has the guts to address the highly underexplored topic of abuse in the queer adult entertainment industry, with the story of Angel and his awful, disgusting manager, Val.
I own you, or have you forgotten that?
No.
When I say come, you say
yes.
It's an uncomfortably realistic take on physical abuse and narcissistic control that will make audiences rightfully squirm. folks need to see the dark side of this business, because sadly it gets swept under the rug way too often. That's the thing, the villains of this show are gutter-dwelling filth, the worst of the worst scumbags. If you asked me to list which animated villains I love to hate the most, I can guarantee that at least one of these wretches will be on there. From the insufferable arrogance of the puke stain that is Adam, to the repulsive sleaze of the rotten Val. Every moment these villains are on screen, we wish nothing but pain and bad luck against them. Thankfully, in the Season 1 finale, Adam faces the best defeat we could have ever wanted. After making us put up with his incessant bragging, an insecure need to remind others that he was the first man, we get to see him face a humiliating end, and it's delicious.
You all should be worshipping me, you ungrateful, disgusting losers!
Whoa! Which in turn warns every other villain to not mess with Hazbin Hotel. I am so excited to see Val face the same kind of end. He deserves an even worse punishment than Adam, so don't let me down, show. Hazbin Hotel creator Whimsical is a confessed musical fanatic, and she pumps that passion into every episode with frequent musical numbers. What I love about Hazbin Hotel as a musical is the diversity of its sounds, and the show expertly picks the best musical style for each character. Yeah, Broadway is the biggest influence, of course.
From the porn studio where the cinephiles go to watch award-winning David Bukkake shows.
But there's also an ironic use of pop, as Angel disappears into his own music video to cognitively distance himself from his harsh reality.
You're feeding me poison. I'm choking from the taste and I can't help but swallow up.
Plus, there's swing jazz to fit the vaudevillian persona of Alistair.
Who's been here since day one? Who's been faithful as a nun?
Hazbin Hotel is a very versatile musical. I also have to commend how pretty much every song has a purpose. When I look back on these musical numbers, every track is designed to push the story forward, develop character, or build a relationship.
At least I know I'm not alone.
You're a loser just like me.
They just happen to be catchy and easy to sing along to. My only criticism is reserved for the one occasion in which an annoying character randomly disrupts a great song, which killed the mood and halted the fun I was having. To conclude, Hazbin Hotel, based on its first season, is a breath of fresh air in the adult animation climate. A devilishly fun cartoon that's stitched together with loving passion by everyone creatively involved, while also being a challenging satire of religious fundamentalism, and a microscopic eye into morality as a grayscale spectrum. Colour me hype for Season 2. So the next episode of Jambareeqi Orange will actually be the last ever one. The options for this final review are Hell of a Boss, Home on the Range, Woody Woodpecker Goes to Camp, Once Upon a Forest, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and Mad Max. That's a pretty awesome list, right? Now, don't forget that you have to be a patron to access this poll. What is a patron? Don't worry, I'll explain.
This is my Patreon. It's a site for my fans to support me financially on through a monthly basis. Those who donate are called patrons. Patrons can donate as much as they want and are welcome to stop donating anytime. In return for their generosity, patrons are given exciting rewards based on their pledge amount. These rewards include early access to my videos before they go up publicly on YouTube, behind the scenes content, their name in the end credits of my videos, a chance to request a review of anything at all, and much more.
I'm excited to see what my patrons will pick for the last ever Orange review. I've been Jambareeqi, cheerio folks.